Yes, 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 yes. It's Trilla. Welcome to the tourism show. I got Joe Long with me. Let me get some hand claps for that. So I have Mr. Joe Long with us this morning. How's it going, sir? How's it going?
Going great. I'm so glad, Mr. Trilla, for being here with us and talking about Menifee. We love Menifee.
Man, listen. I came over here with Mr. Long. He invited me over to his beautiful home. I get here. It was the spread. I had coffee and pastries. He's such an amazing host, so I'm very excited to see what he could do for the city of Menifee. Another round of applause for Joe. All righty. So let's get right to it. So for the residents of Menifee that may not know you, that don't know you personally or never heard of your name, let's give them an introduction to yourself and we'll go from there.
Yes, thank you. Yes, our family moved to Menifee about 7 years ago, and we were one of the first homeowners in this area. And then the whole community was completed a year later. So we built up our community. We got to know all the neighbors. Luckily, during the construction and during the completion, the first 2 years, I was elected as president of this Cottonwood HOA. So for building up the community, we got together quite well. And we moved here from San Diego. We lived in San Diego for more than 15 years. Doing real estate appraisal, and I love doing real estate appraisal. When I was in San Diego, I covered the whole Riverside County, San Diego County, and Orange County.
So you have a very wide range as far as your knowledge of the areas in Southern California.
Yes, and every appraisal we have to include a introduction of economic basis. So understanding the economic base of any area is my focus every single report.
So it sounds like you're coming with a very strong economic background to that's your skill set that you're trying to bring to
Analyzing all the economic dynamics for each area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have Joe Long, who is trying to put his name in the hat for District 2.
District 2. The thing about District 2 is it's one of the very unique districts. We have the main Menifee markets along Newport Road. That's our economic engine. And because of the movie theater being stuck in the middle,
Right.
so we're not attracting business to the area. So that's my focus. We're going to have to improve the marketplace, the economic engine of our city. And then we are planning, this is very interesting, okay? We are planning for a innovation district at along Scott Road and Highway 215.
Right.
Innovation district, that's the most amazing area. It's about high tech, it's about healthcare technology, it's about artificial intelligence, it's about everything in the future.
Okay.
So District 2 is going to cover both.
Right. And that's what I was about to ask you. So when it comes to District 2, what makes District 2 unique? You know, like what is it that you would bring to District 2 that the people of Menifee would find attractive?
Yes, I'm so glad we moved to Cottonwood community right here. We got to know, number one, the most important thing is community getting together. So during the first 2 years, when everybody moving into our community were all new, we started the food drive.
Food drive?
Yeah, and we got the volunteer from our neighborhood to do food drive.
So the whole community got together.
The whole community
That's
getting
beautiful.
together. And then for Christmas season, we had the Christmas light competition
In this neighborhood.
In this neighborhood.
Okay. Now, that's one thing that I can say about Menifee. If people don't know Menifee, one thing that I can say is that this city enjoys the holidays.
Yes,
And from Halloween, once Halloween hits, the
right.
houses
It's
get lit
all
up,
getting ready.
and Menifee is a light show.
Yes.
So if more communities get into that, I can see Menifee being one of those cities in Southern California that's a must see during the holidays.
Right. So those two community events is gonna bind everybody together. It's gonna make community stronger, closer. That's how we did it. But the most important thing that we did together uh, with our HOA board, at the outbreak of the COVID pandemic, when everything was locked down, no more holiday, no more festival getting together, we held the July the 4th festival on Caravan.
So you just did it on your own.
We did it on our own, but then each family is going to stay in your car.
Right.
Each family is staying in your
So
car.
you guys in this community
In this
said
community,
COVID wasn't going to stop 4th
it
of
was
July.
good. Right. We're going to do it. We're going to do it that according to the regulation. So we did it. And we have caravan with singers. They have a portable speaker, caravan with flags, traveling all the neighborhood. So it's a wonderful thing that binds everybody together. But here's another thing we did during the caravan parade. We stopped by houses with active military first responders. Okay, and we have
And shout out to the
Yeah.
police and
Yes.
the first responders, fire. They
Yeah.
do an amazing job.
and each member for each house. Okay, we present an American flag, and we have a veteran doing it.
Oh, that's nice. So,
Yeah.
so even more so, like going above and beyond to thank
Right.
those people.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we have nurses, we have law enforcement, we have veterans, we are active, we have one active duty doing, yeah, as well.
So in this community, what I'm hearing is that it seems like, well, throughout the whole city, we're gonna have a melting pot
Yes.
of these public servants, these public, veterans and things of that nature. But what you're seeing is a snapshot, almost like a sample size in District 2. And this community,
Yes.
it almost seems like is the model community that you kind of want to see spread across Menifee is what it
That's
sounds
how
like.
we build up our community spirit. That's how everybody here love Menifee.
Right.
So, yes.
All right. So as far as we keep talking about, community, that seems to be the big, theme. Community. Obviously, this is our city. This is our town. We want to be more than, a bunch of residents that drive around in traffic, right? A bunch of citizens that are just driving around in traffic. Community means involvement, right? So involvement and how do you plan if given the opportunity to represent District 2?
Yes.
How would you plan to continue on community engagement?
Yes. First, I would like to say thank you to now the mayor of Menifee, Mr. Ricky Estrada. He
Give
was
us a man claps for Ricky Estrada.
Yes, yes, yes. He appointed me to the planning commission. That's where I learned all the proposal, and that's where we have to consider and we have to deliberate. We have to evaluate all proposal for development. Any development has the positive side and the negative side. It's the balancing act that we have to be doing. And being on the commission, I wanted to be a listener. I don't want to give my opinion within myself. It has to be a community input.
As a councilman, that's your
Yeah.
job. You have to be a
That's my
steward
job.
of the community. Like it's not your agenda; it's the people's.
It's the people telling me.
Right.
Yes. So I listen, and anybody with any opinion, I receive a number of emails from the public. I read them very carefully, and I reply all of them, and yes,
So what we're hearing now is that Joe will answer your emails, right?
yes,
So if
yes,
you're elected city council for
yes,
District 2, you'll be approachable, you'll be reachable. The
yes,
citizens in your district will be able to reach you very
yes.
directly.
Yes, not only that, but if elected, I plan to go to all the HOA
So you're going to be
organization.
in the
Yeah,
HOA
I'm going to
community
volunteer. I'm
meetings.
going to go and see because that's what I learned from my own HOA community.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go and I'm going to approach all the HOAs, all the churches in the area.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I would like to hear.
Okay.
And the thing about listening to people is I have to empty my head to listen to other. I cannot prejudge anything. Just listen to the people and see what I can do with it.
Right. And to
Yeah,
see, and I think sometimes, and that's refreshing to hear,
yeah,
and just in speaking with a lot of the city officials that I've had an opportunity to speak with, it almost sounds like this is the culture that they're trying to create, this real touchable experience with the city council, the city leaders, a real approachable atmosphere that, like Bob Carwin said yesterday, if you see me in the grocery store and you have a problem, I don't know if there's an issue in your community unless I know about it, unless you tell me. The only way that we know is if you tell us, right? So it's good to hear that we're getting city leadership that's really, really striving towards that community interaction, right? So talk to me about Mayfield Park and the equipment improvement and all of that stuff that you got going on.
Oh yes, yes. During my time with the HOA board, uh, uh, we participate in the Mayfield Park grand opening by the city,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so wonderful. We were able to organize an ROTC group to do the flag
Oh, nice.
salute and ceremony. It was wonderful, and the park is um, for our community, not only for our community, but now the park is being used by many different youth training group sports, soccer, volleyball, all the sports are all here. They are using it, so we love it. Uh, and when the traffic was a little heavy, people park everywhere. We asked for the city to help. They came right away. They
Mm-hmm.
put on the speed limit sign right there with Councilwoman Lisa Sobak. She
Yep.
put on the sign right away. So, and before that, after opening the park, we realized that we have a large senior community nearby.
Mm-hmm.
So we asked for more equipment for seniors.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
in thinking in like, oh, we're about to put this thing up. It's right next to this community,
yeah.
but they won't be able to utilize if we don't get this particular equipment in. So you guys have
Uh,
forward thinking about that.
right.
That's
So
awesome.
we got a number of equipment, moving.
For our
Yeah, so
seniors to
for
be able
seniors
to
to
take
be
advantage of that facility.
right,
That's
right,
awesome.
right.
And then
And
Lisa.
yes,
So I know that she ran for mayor, and by a very small margin, she was edged out by Ricky, but she has her name all over this place. She has a legacy, from what I understand, goes
yes,
back decades with the
right,
city of Menifee. A
yes,
lot of our citizens want to see the leadership that is current carry on a lot of the things that that leadership initiated
yeah.
or started. How do you plan on keeping those things going?
That's the wonderful thing about Menifee. We have had excellent, dedicated public servants. All of the city council members are all dedicated. So I look up to them. I listen to them. Actually, I will ask them for help.
Right.
Yeah,
So
it's not only the public, but all the people with experience. I will listen to all of them, and I look up to all members.
yeah, so I'm sure that you'll probably seek some counsel with Lisa. She has her when she was leaving, and they did that ceremony for their offboarding of
Right.
city council.
Yeah.
You just kept hearing, she's the cornerstone of Menifee. Their
Yes.
fingerprints will remain
Yes.
on, all the things that they started. So it's the building blocks that we've gotten for our city,
Yes.
right? We're looking for a District 2 leadership to carry that on. So
Yes.
now you were on the planning commission.
Yes. Right
I
now.
didn't
Yes.
mean to cut you off, but your
Yes,
thought there.
yes. I'm one of the five members on the Planning Commission. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all four of them. Uh, Being freshly appointed, it took me a while to get to know and to learn. Each project is like a master thesis. You have to spend a lot of time learning, and they give you 1 week to learn everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it took a long time. It took a lot of time to consider each project. For residential project, we focus on traffic accessibility. We focus on the park. The park. Um, uh, um, Builders, a developer tends to build the most basic park.
Mhm.
We wanted to improve it more, um, more like STEM park, musical park, different park. Each
So it just
different
not
like
being a generic, ambiguous thing that's just sitting out there. It
right.
has more of a specific purpose. Is what
Right,
got you.
right. When we first moved here, there was no Mayfield Park. We have to go about a mile from here to Audie Murphy Parks.
Right.
They have baseball park. They have all kind of parks there. But then now, for us, we now walking around the neighborhood and then go to the park. Yeah.
Right.
Um, there are a number of projects of uh, we consider on the planning commission. Many of them are residential, and some of them are industrial
Mhm.
warehouses. I'm glad I read everything. I read everything very carefully, and I remember one of the warehouse, very large warehouses. I decided to vote no. So
Right.
that's because warehouses wear down our infrastructure, and the traffic, the normal traffic for the warehouse is not typical. They go much slower. Uh, they take wider term,
Mm-hmm.
and they go specific hours. But then for a warehouse, a large warehouse, not only we get the truck traffic, but the employees traffic as well. The pickup truck, smaller pickup truck, but it's all day long.
Right.
Yeah,
So that what you're so the consideration of putting some of these industrial type establishments in is heavily considered. You're considering infrastructure and traffic.
right. Traffic infrastructure, and most important thing is proximity. Proximate to any residential area.
Right. So the Brookville project, right? So is that the Brookville project, the newest one going up north Menifee, right?
North Menifee.
You were on the planning commission during that time?
Yeah, there has been quite a number of warehouse proposal along Ethernet, along that border.
Mhm.
So that's how we got into the conflict. But the Ethernet road is not really ready for industrial traffic.
Oh, there's a lot that road
Yeah,
going down. Like once you get past that light from the Shell,
right.
I mean that road is horrible.
Yeah, not only the road is horrible, we only own 25% of the road.
Really?
Paris, basically Paris owns the other 75%. So they have the right to design any traffic signal, any left turn, right turn, dedicated left turn, median. They all decided.
All right.
And
So now this is about the third time I've heard somebody say that Menifee does not own any of that Ethernet road. It almost sounds like. So we have to get on these 411 in the residence page. Listen, guys, it doesn't sound like Menifee can fix that road. So we can't keep being mad at our councilman and our mayor about Ethernet. It sounds like we have to really work with Paris to get that done.
Right. And Paris has the right to design the intersection, dedicated left turn, dedicated right turn. If we are not careful, they're going to make a left turn, but not long
So
enough for
we can
truck.
see Paris kind of throwing a monkey wrench in there, doing
Yeah.
us to where, oh yeah, we'll fix it up, but now you got to take the right, take another right, take the next right. We're
Yeah.
gonna circle you
And
around.
and then we're going to see truck traveling local streets.
Yeah, that's no good.
That's no good. And the unfortunate thing about this particular area is we still have a number of residential units, partial. Um, uh, that's very difficult to resolve.
Right.
Yeah.
So the segue,
Yes.
going off of industrial planning, residential, you were on the planning commission during the Brookfield all of that process, right?
Yes.
And the developers coming back. This is what we want to do. The city being like, no, you or whatever that. How was that back and forth? How long did that take for the ink to dry on that contract from the city with Brookfield?
Uh, another thing, another deadline that all the developers are very well aware of is the new California regulation concerning development of warehouses. So they wanted to submit, developers wanted to submit proposal before that deadline of the new law, before the beginning of the
Right, because
yeah.
we all know
Yeah.
about getting the stuff in before the deadline.
Right.
Understood.
Yeah.
So
So
before the laws and rules change up, right?
right. So last year we had quite a number of warehouses developers, but we went through each project very carefully. Smaller projects, easier to handle, but for large warehouses, it's very difficult because of the traffic, because of the influences on nearby communities, neighborhoods, traffic, and the any road for industrial traffic, the wear and tear is going to be much.
So you're already having to bake in improvements, repairs for that type of zoning for
Right.
the roads, right? So you
Right.
already have to kind of bake
But-
that
But
in.
more than that, in some area, trucks parks in other nearby streets.
So they're
Truck-
parking up the
They're
side
parking up,
roads. and
the
stuff
side
like
road.
that, yeah.
So we have to come up with regulation concerning street truck traffic, warehouse traffic, not parking on the local street.
Right.
So that's another
that
concern
sounds like
we have to-
the Menifee PD getting on, like writing some good tickets when they see those violations.
yeah, and we have to be very clear about parking in the vicinity.
Right.
Yeah, we have
And
to
that's
be very
one thing. And I can understand a lot of the citizens' concerns. You go to places like San Diego, you go to places like, not too far, Riverside Riverside and Ontario, and you go some places and like the parking, like San Diego, like good luck with a Suburban or, a big old vehicle because the parking spaces are like that. It's almost like being in Hawaii. I don't know if anybody's been to Hawaii, but if you got anything big, it's a challenge parking anywhere. We can see that. There's a lot of citizens that are that were here back in the early 90s or, the late 80s or even before that and have watched this place just blow up. I didn't realize until a couple weeks ago that Menifee has a higher population than Marietta and Temecula.
Yes, talking about the population, the two nearby cities, Murrieta and Temecula, we surpassed both in terms of population, but not in terms of economic engines.
Got you.
We don't have as many companies as Temecula. Temecula has the most number of manufacturing companies. Murrieta has the most number of healthcare facilities, and here our economic base is minimal. So
Right.
that's
Well,
the
I mean,
focus.
you would think because historically this area agriculture. We're talking lettuce, right? We're talking avocados, maybe. I think there was all sorts of farms that a lot of the residents have seen go away. That I think a lot of the residents are the ones that are seeing the growth and are really against the growth are seeing these types of that land go away. So um I think that's probably what the transition is, that the area just isn't attractive for those types of industries.
And yes, we are going through a transition period. It's similar to, 50 years ago, Orange County was in kind of outskirt of Los Angeles.
Right.
Yeah. Uh, Orange County was supposed to be agriculture. You know, the strawberry festival?
Hmm.
There's no
No more
strawberry,
strawberries.
but they keep the strawberry festival. You just mentioned avocado. We should do avocado festival right now. Yeah,
Yes, and that was one thing that I
yeah,
brought up. I was with Bob, and I believe even with the mayor, some
yeah.
of this land that we're seeing, right? That we may not be wanting to develop on just yet because we might not have had the right opportunity to fill that land, right?
Yes,
What about things like festivals and
yeah.
carnivals and things of that nature, pop-up stuff to where some of these local food trucks can come in here and
Yes.
provide those
Oh,
types of
food truck. I
services?
love food truck. Yeah,
You're
yeah,
now reaching out to the carnivals that set up the rides and stuff like that, and
yeah,
now you're charging the residents to come in for a random the popcorn carnival or the like you said, strawberry festival or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. So we should have avocado festival, but not only that, we have a number of antique old structure museum. We should somehow relocate them to one central area.
Mm.
Um, uh, Old schoolhouse.
Examples. So I know we have the car museum right there on
Right,
74. What other
right.
examples do you think?
Any older structure built in the 19th century or early 1900, yeah, we should all relocate them to one area and make it
Relocate.
historical.
So are
It's
you talking about like reconstruct it, like replicate maybe?
if the structure is small enough, moving is not a problem.
Okay, I got you. But
Yeah.
like that car museum on the 74, you obviously can't
Oh, we
move
need
that.
more car show. We really need more car show in Menifee. We have it. Okay. Right now we have Fruity Fridays um, uh, at the end of at near um, uh, living space.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have it, but we don't have enough crowd. Yeah, we should.
Control like
Yeah,
it's
we
not
should.
big enough. It's not big enough
It's
to
not in the
accommodate
accommodate.
a bigger
Yeah,
event.
and most importantly, they don't have entertainment. You
Right.
have to have a band. You have to have music.
Right. And I think that's one thing, Bob
Yeah.
Carwin. I know that the amphitheater is kind of a mixed feeling on that. I know
Uh,
that the mayor stance on it is that he doesn't think that it's that beneficial for the amount of money to put out. But I can also see the flip side of the coin where we're right here in the heart of Southern California, another venue where you can have a mixture. It's not it's not set up to be a country western country venue. It's not set up to be a hip hop venue. It's not set up to be a rock venue. It's just a venue for
just
whatever comes in
whatever.
here
Yeah.
and whatever the citizens would come to pay to see.
Yeah. Yeah. And another asset, tremendous asset that we have where we're not using it is the marketplace in Sun City. It's a shopping center
Mhm.
with a lot of vacancy, and it's a huge parking lot. The parking lot should be a swap meet, Saturday swap meet for people to gather to enjoy with
Yeah,
music.
that's
Yeah,
that's a retro like that. When we start talking about people say Old Town Menifee and
that's
stuff
it.
like that, right?
That's it.
Me personally,
Yeah,
you start saying Old Town, it almost sounds like that's where that needs to be.
right there.
When you start saying Old Town, like a
Yes.
downtown or whatever,
Mhm.
you would think that let's try to build that area up. But it's Sun City,
It's Sun
and
City.
now you're starting. We have to protect our senior citizens. Now, is that type of environment the place to be? But if you were talking Old Town, this is, I
This
would
is
say, Old
Old Town.
Town,
Yes.
not literally. I don't want people on 401 and the residents saying that I'm old shaming people. I didn't. I'm not saying it's Old Town because it's Sun City. Just that it has the most retro feel of the city. It's the most retro feeling part of the city.
Yes, yes, and we should be very proud of Sun City. It's part of our history. It's part. Should be very proud of our heritage. So it's part of Menifee.
Right.
Yeah,
No, and you got to think. I think every if you go to any city or any state across the country, and you come across a Sun City, right?
yes,
You instantly know that those people are precious senior citizens.
yes.
It's almost like it's you're gonna Sun City is gonna be popping up everywhere, and you know that that's a 55 and over community.
Yes.
Those citizens there are typically on fixed incomes. Those citizens over there are typically not in the realm of having children that have to pay for schools and stuff like that. So, as the District 2 representative,
right.
You don't. I don't. Sun City isn't in
Not
that
part of
district,
right.
but for our seniors that are across your district,
Yes,
what
we have
what do
a
you what do
we
you
have
plan
a
for them?
senior community right here. Oh, we are very lucky. We are very our we live right across the senior center, right there. And every weekdays they have activities. They have exercise class. They have music class. They have ballet class, chess games, and they have luncheon for seniors. Yeah, so it's a wonderful place to go. And actually, for the Thanksgiving, I believe they have a Thanksgiving dinner there too.
So the community, and that's another thing I'm starting to see with the master plan developers. The city of Menifee's asking for community centers. They're
Right.
asking for pools and parks. Like, is that something that is hard to kind of pull from these developers? Like, when we say we want X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and you can throw in F, G, and H too.
Right.
How difficult is that getting that from the developers?
Not difficult at all. It's a matter of communication. If you tell them first, they prepare for it. Don't tell them at the last minute.
Right.
Okay, then it would be very costly.
And at what point does Joe Citizen? So we know we have the city council meetings twice a month, I believe. Right.
Yes.
Aside from going to those, if I want, say, I'm a citizen and I know that they're about to develop over here wherever, and
Yes.
I want we want a baseball park.
Yes.
Like, how do I get that idea to the developer?
Yes. Okay. Right now, as a planning commissioner, you can send email. You can meet me anywhere, anytime. Okay, I'm willing to listen. And in fact, one of my neighbors talked about 2 years ago. Talk about the hazard of the unfinished structure of the movie theater. So he and I put together a proposal. We went to the city 2 years ago, proposing that the city should demolish the whole structure because of the risk, the high risk of falling down. And so we made that proposal, and we had a meeting with the city staff. Okay, and then here's another thing that any city can do. Another friend of mine and we went together, happened to be near a local middle school, and we witnessed the whole traffic going crazy. So we wrote,
Listen, I have children. I just got one out of Chase, dealing with that traffic. I still have my little guy in Boulder Ridge. If any of you guys can all relate, if you have kids that go to Boulder Ridge, it is a nightmare, an absolute nightmare getting into any of these schools.
right. Yeah. So we made a proposal, and we had a meeting with the staff too. So, but the thing about school traffic is it takes coordination between three different entities: the city, the school district, and the law enforcement.
Right.
So we have to get all three working together. Okay. When my son was going to middle school and high school years ago, we had uh, the student helping traffic. Uh-huh.
So you had students as crossing guards
Crossing
and all
guard.
of that stuff, and these,
Yeah, but
they're
not
children.
anymore. And every new semester, law enforcement would come in and conduct a workshop, traffic
Training.
training for high school. So I think that kind of program is doable, and it really help
Right. So
parents.
now you would
Parents,
say,
yeah,
so as far as planning,
yes,
when we go into, obviously we're not putting schools in sun cities, right? But when we start looking at the next school that we're going to put up, you know, coming in and out of the school, how's that going to look? What's the setup? Understanding and knowing that, this little loop right here probably isn't going to take care of a tenth of the cars that come through here, and they're all going to be wrapped around the block. And
right.
now we have to worry about in the neighborhoods and
In the neighborhood,
right.
our neighborhood, Cottonwood community, we are next to the Ivans Elementary School. And during peak times, people park everywhere.
Mhm.
We don't mind them parking, but that's how it is.
Right.
And it takes a little coordination uh, with the city, with the school, with the law enforcement. We can put more sign, more direction.
Right.
Parents just drop kids wherever they can.
Right.
Okay,
And
but
that's a big problem too.
yeah,
Some parents like, well, I trust my kid well enough to go across that street. So I'll
yeah,
park over here and let them go over here. Some have to get right up on the school. One thing that a lot of people, I think, and I've heard, been jumping up and down, and I understand that the school districts are kind of weird, right? The districts, like, Menifee doesn't have any high schools. We
right,
have K-8.
yeah,
What would alleviate this traffic is services like school buses. Like, one thing that I've noticed coming out to California, just out west in general, I grew
right.
up on the East Coast, right? I grew up where you woke up in the morning, you walked about a half block that way, or a block down that way,
To
in a
get on the
school
bus,
bus, you're at
right,
a bus stop.
right.
At that bus stop, they picked up about 20, 30 kids from the surrounding area and got them to school, right?
Right.
Why is it that it's so hard to find a working school bus system in any Southern California city? It almost seems like it's Is there some state legislation that restricts school buses or something?
As far as I know, there's none. It's the school district that decides what policy they follow. I have relatives living in Murrieta, and they go to school by bus.
So
Yeah,
Marietta got school buses.
they have school buses.
And one thing that I don't really hear about
Yeah.
too much in Marietta is a traffic issue.
Um,
Except for trying to get onto that freeway, right?
that's one city we should learn. It's a model city. Murrieta is very well known for healthcare facility. Somehow they have attracted so many healthcare um, organizations to come to Murrieta.
So
So we
are
should
they
learn.
just better drivers?
Yeah, they prepared the road. If you look at the newly expanded road, Clinton Keys,
Yeah.
okay, and now it's the city that built complete the whole road now, and now you see companies,
Starting
stores
along.
started to build along.
Mhm.
Home Depot, we have none. Murrieta, right there at the border.
Right.
So
So you're
here,
saying we have less in that. So here's where it is,
yeah,
Menifee. We have a higher population with the lower medium income. And a lot of the things that we want with this growth is it going to be afforded to us if we're not able to kind of catch up with the income, right?
Yeah. Where is Costco?
Where's Costco? Marietta.
It Murrieta,
Yeah,
right? Where is Kaiser Hospital?
Marietta.
Yeah, we need all of them here. We have to streamline the process. We have to recruit them. We have to give them incentive
Right,
to be here.
right.
You know, once a hospital is located in Menifee, all the staff is going to stay here. All the nurses is going to stay
Which
here.
increases our
And
our
where do they
medium.
go for entertainment? Right here too.
Right,
So that's what we need to. We have to be actively recruiting company. We are not just waiting for them to apply.
right. Now that kind of so we're talking economic growth. We're talking population growth. We've already kind of obviously our senior citizens and the importance of kind of keeping them protected from unnecessary, taxes, unnecessary, whatever it is that we as a city are imposing. Our senior citizens have lived their life. They have contributed, years of taxes into the community. So at that point in time, affordable housing and places for our senior citizens to live. Where is that sitting?
Okay. For housing, actually, the whole California is under a state of emergency for housing. So the state mandates all the regulation. We no longer have any regulation, local regulation over housing. So whether we want more housing or less housing or what kind of housing, uh, it's the state regulation that control everything.
So is that something that gets handed down to the city from the state? Like, hey, you have to, if you're going to develop anything,
Yeah.
there has to be a X percentage set aside for affordable housing. There's no ifs, ands, and buts.
Right, right. And here's the lucky thing. The luckiest thing is for Menifee right now. The reason why the prices are low in Menifee, but not in Murrieta or Temecula, because we have many developers here, many developers. So they compete for the pricing. So
Okay.
once they finished, then our prices is going to be jumping right up and comparable to Murrieta or Temecula.
So right
So it's
now, right
yeah
now, and
the
from what
mid
I'm hearing from you, is the reason why we are at a lower, as far as
medium
our
price,
housing market is
right,
compared to neighboring cities,
right,
is because it's a really competitive
competitive,
market with developers.
right. And developer only has about 2 to 3 years to complete the project. They don't want to stay too long because
Right.
so they have to price in such a way that they can sell it quickly. Yeah,
You're right. They're
and the
not
best.
sitting on inventory.
Right. They don't want to sit on the inventory. They don't want to wait for you to come. You come
Right.
because of the price.
Right.
Yeah.
So by the time they finish
Yeah.
putting that last nail in, your
Gotcha.
truck is unloading your stuff into that
Right.
house.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So I've asked every other city official this question. Where do you see the cap for Menifee as far as population? We're at 113,000 now, about, right?
Yeah.
Joe Long's perfect world, what would be the max population for Menifee?
As an appraiser, I don't interfere with the trends.
He's a real estate guy. He said, so understood. You're looking at, so it's not really a cap. It sounds like you just want to make sure economically the city can support
Yes.
whatever
Yes.
that
It's
population
what
is.
we do to make life to improve quality of life for those who choose Menifee as their future.
Absolutely. And this
That's
is
the
what I
most
did.
important.
Me and my family were able to when we followed a job here, right?
Yes. Yes.
I got out here and we were looking And this area was just the best area for me and my family. It made the most sense in Southern California. Beautiful area, beautiful developing area. Just in the 8 years that we've been here, we've
Mhm.
seen this go up, that go up. It's like, oh my gosh, look at this. It's exciting to see the growth.
Yeah.
Um,
And another unique thing about Menifee in terms of land availability,
mhm.
uh, Temecula has a lot of land, but most of some
Okay.
about
Yep.
they have a lot of hills too, not developable, so they cannot build houses. Myriad similar situation. Only Menifee, most of the lands are flat, developable. Yeah,
Right.
so we are lucky, and we should develop into uh, a vacant land is economic potential. The
Right.
value of a vacant land is economic
Right. And
potential.
that's one thing that I see too around here is a lot of empty land. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, we're one agriculture, or why we take, well, I don't see anything being grown. Like we have these big fields. Now, it would make sense that if I seen corn or, fields of, lettuce or whatever going up, but it's not, it's just dry, which turns into basically fuel for Southern California in certain times of the year for fires and stuff like that. I did want to take an opportunity to get some questions that we pulled off of
Yes.
the 401 in residence page
Yeah.
and see what it is that your answers would be or what your approach would be to them. So we'll go ahead and start looking at some of these. If I can get the first one popped up, unbiased, who's my producer behind the scenes, popping these up for us. Just want to make sure that we're getting that up there. Um, yep, here we go. So we got Zachary Bach, level one trauma center. So now this is what you were talking about. So a level one trauma center, trade school with automotive and contractors, and a river walk. This is what the city of Menifee residents want.
Yes, definitely, definitely. I coming here from San Diego. I know Miramar College. They have an auto.
Right.
Yeah, sponsored by Toyota.
That's cool.
So for our Mount San Jacinto campus here, we need an automotive department,
Right.
and it's so easy to get a Toyota, a Ford, a GM to
That's a
support.
good idea. Matter of fact, I
Yeah,
forgot Zachary Bach. Yeah, a trade school. Now, when I grew up in New York, out back out east, we had
right.
high schools that were trade high schools, aviation, automotive. Like there were schools that you went to. Yeah, the curriculum gave you, your math, your basic social studies,
Yeah,
history, and stuff like that.
right.
But most of the curriculum was a trade. Solar's booming, plumbing,
Construction right now.
electrical, like
Yeah.
HVAC. Would it be something that the city of Menifee could approach and ask for? Hey, the high school that we want,
Yes.
could it be a trade high school?
Yes, I think we should do all. Right now in Menifee, the biggest job market is construction,
Mhm.
and construction make a lot of money. Right now, we don't have enough worker in the construction business. A lot of companies, a lot of builders are having problem finding qualified service people.
Mhm.
So
And that's what I'm
high
getting
school,
at. I mean, if
yeah,
you have a school here in Menifee
right,
that you're learning the trades, electrician,
yeah,
uh, HVAC,
yes,
solar,
solar,
right? All
yeah,
of these schools, and then
cabinet, yeah.
and now you're talking about any
Here's
of those trades going into the construction industry,
right
adding value.
now we're gonna expand the venue. Not only public school, not only college. We would like to invite all the private industry colleges, invite all vocational school to come here. Healthcare. Right now, the biggest problem is healthcare. We have a very large senior population here, but we don't have healthcare training
Yeah, readily available right
better.
here.
So that's what we need. And the thing about healthcare right now is so much new technology are being used now. So we really need a healthcare program here
I mean,
training.
shoot, I think, man, if I'm sitting back here and I am thinking about it, I wave my magic wand. We
Yeah.
have a major medical facility. We have some industry that supports, like, say, for example, if we're dealing with CT scans or ultrasounds or
Yeah.
whatever it is, we
All new
have
technology.
some radiology a
Yeah.
radiology center out here, and we have a manufacturer of that particular equipment that's
Yeah.
basically supplying. That would be awesome. We
Yeah.
have another we have other questions that are coming from 401 and Menifee. So yeah, I think that you spoke to most of this as far as level one trauma center. You want to see that.
Yes.
Trade schools, we want to see that. And then the beautification of Menifee. We have another one waiting for my producer to pop this one up
Yeah.
for you. You know, and just waiting for that question. Beautification of Menifee. We talk about that Han Road, that area that's set aside for a downtown.
Yes.
What do you a river walk? Is that something that could be achievable? You think, in your opinion,
I
as a
think there
city
is
planner?
I walk in the marketplace right now along the Han Road. Um, it's excellent in the morning. If you drive along, you see a lot of people walking. What I would like to see is more beautification, more greenery, more trees, more shades,
Mm-hmm.
and more equipment along the road. Right now, it's pretty much bare,
Right.
and people when the weather is hot, it's difficult to walk.
Because
So
there's
we need
no
more
shade. Yeah.
no
So
shade.
I can see you guys coming up. And that's the next thing. You really don't want to be hasty and put stuff in there and spend
Right,
a bunch of money. And then 10 years from now, it's like, well, this isn't too practical for what we're really trying to do.
right.
So then you got to tear all that work up. So
Yeah,
we have to be patient, Menifee. I think we're at a stage where we want so much,
right.
but we're just not there yet.
Another thing about that river walk, there's no parking for people walking. Very, very limited
Yet.
parking. You have
Yep.
to park on the street. So
Right.
we have to dedicate a portion. I don't know how, but we have to have a parking for those folks
Right.
in the morning.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna see. I mean, that I can see that being part of once we get some of these other things developed. We got the developers coming in. We know where certain things are gonna be placed. Then you can go in and kind of
Yeah.
fill in the blanks, right?
Yeah, and that area we could turn it into a tourist destination as well. As long as we can build up more beautification, we can make it more beautiful and attractive for
Right.
people
And
to
that's
come.
right there off that
Right
freeway. You can
there,
see
so
it.
easy to see. And in the future, the city hall is going to be down the road too, a
Okay.
block away. So it's a perfect location. It's something we have the ground. Now
Yep.
we have to build it up.
Yep. I can't wait to see it. So
Yeah.
the next one we got from Michael Knighton. Michael Knighton is a big
Yes.
contributor to the city.
Yes.
You see him everywhere. I mean, he's
He's
in
my
all the chats. He's in all the
He's my mentor.
he's your mentor. I mean, I know that
Before I say anything, I have to ask him. No, I'm just kidding.
no, I definitely Michael Knighton, from what I can see, I'm pretty new to the community,
Yeah.
but he does seem like he's a cornerstone.
Yes.
He has a lot of things going on, but what he has to say here is he's talking about 100% non-cell phone usage in the city while driving. I think that he's wanting to see more police involvement there, like
Yes.
maybe how they are a little bit more stringent in LA. I know
Yeah.
if LA police see you, or LA they see you look at your phone, they're pulling you right over.
Yes.
What else he's got on there? He's got people need to understand how the government works. I see Michael Knighton in the chats correcting a lot of citizens off of miscommunications.
Yes. Let's go back to street safety.
Let's go
That's
back.
the number one issue for our community. Right now, Newport Road cannot handle all the traffic. And also, the school, elementary school right here, in the morning, kids walking across Newport Road from the other side of the.
So dangerous.
It's so dangerous. So what I would like to propose is much better street marking we should use yellow marker
Mm-hmm.
more often for wherever you have school nearby. If the intersection is near a school, it's all yellow
Right.
marker
What
instead
about
of
speed bumps? Like, because I would say right there, wherever
mm,
that school is, you put about 15 speed bumps over there. And if you
mm.
want to speed through there, you go ahead and tear your car up. And, but what about speed bumps, the implementation of those types of controls?
The speed bump is going to work 24 hours a day, whereas school traffic only is a problem only about
Oh,
an
I
hour or two a
understand.
day. So
So
it's a
now in
difficult.
certain cities, now I'm gonna tell you right now, the
Yes,
technology is there,
right,
right? So
right.
like as in a city, for example, they'll put bollards up like throughout the day. So I know that you can raise up like out the street, maybe a speed bump during these hours, and
Yeah,
then it lowers down off hours,
yeah.
something like that.
Or portable traffic warning signal light. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
portable.
thinking more
Yeah.
damage to your vehicle if
Oh,
you
oh.
disobey the law. Like, yeah, you could put a light up or something
Yeah,
like that, but for the
yeah,
protection of our children,
yeah.
where my street is,
Right.
I've been half tempted to just throw a couple of, go right there on Granger,
Yeah.
order a couple of speed bumps. I don't have an HOA in my neighborhood.
Mhm.
I'll go nail some dang on speed bumps,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
things like that. Is that
Right.
something that the planning commission has thought about where to put like speed bumps and things of that nature?
For that kind of programs, it's the city in coordination with the police department and with the school district to work out a plan,
Okay.
and that's what I really hope that we can do. School traffic is kind of uh, within the certain hours only,
Right.
and whenever they have a school night gathering, then you got everybody, all the parents coming in at night.
Right.
Yeah, only a few times, not
All
24
day.
hours. So,
Right.
yeah,
So
so it's
you have
workable.
to have like a thought process there that,
Right.
oh, we're going to implement something or pay for something that
Yeah.
may not, but safety of the children, I think really
Number one
shouldn't
issue,
matter.
safety for everybody is number one
Right.
issue for me. As we grow, a lot of traffic is going to increase because of our population um, and all the developers, all the residential development,
Mhm.
and so we're going to get more traffic. It's a matter of getting used to the new traffic
Right.
flow, and that's going to. I really like to promote law enforcement more workshop by law enforcement. Whenever we have a gathering, we should have a workshop by the law enforcement agency.
So each opportunity that we have
Yeah,
for the Menifee police to engage with the community, it sounds like you're all for.
right.
Michael Knighton has a bunch of other stuff on it. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see what else he had to say because
Yeah.
he
Yes.
seems like okay. So he said job creation at the both the Northern Gateway and Southern Gateway Innovation District, which you spoke about, to keep our youth employed, lessen traffic, and try to provide good pay in order to afford to live here. I mean, there's a lot that he put in this comment,
Yes.
which I think is almost the theme, right? So
Right.
what we're sitting here talking about, I think Michael Knighton nailed a lot of that stuff as far as city of Menifee's citizens concerns. He's very close to that pulse. I know that
Yes.
he's getting involved and he knows a lot of people and a lot of people talk to him. So, these are
Yes, we for Menifee, we really need to expand our economic base. Companies coming here, hiring people, local people here. They are all residents in Menifee want to work in Menifee. That's number one. They don't want to travel in San Diego. One of my neighbors had to travel to San Diego to work. One of my and another neighbor had to go to Los Angeles to work. Too far. They all complaining. They want to find jobs
right.
locally. Uh, Unfortunately, right now in Menifee, we have very few manufacturing companies. If I'm not mistaken, our total number of manufacturing companies less than about less than 100, whereas Murrieta there are around 400, and in Temecula should be higher than 600.
Hmm.
Uh,
So it
uh,
seems like we're
yeah,
just waiting for that one opportunity for that one
we
industry to come in here and
yes.
just kind of kick this thing off.
So,
But it's got to be the right one.
right. So, what I would like to do is to form an economic recruiting team to go all over the country or to go to other city or to go to convention to invite them to come here, and we should develop a plan, incentive for companies to relocate to Menifee.
This area, and
Yes.
we're talking about companies headquartering. We're looking at maybe a corporation headquartering here in Menifee, possibly.
Right. And here I have a list of
Yeah, we were just about to.
local.
I was
Right.
just about to go into
Yes.
that. So
Uh,
right there, what you're holding in your hand is U.S. patent applications.
Those from Menifee.
Right.
Okay. The first one, the one, let me see. Okay. Okay. This is the latest one, November 26th. One patent inventor is a person living in Menifee. The company is located in Moreno Valley. Yeah. So we should celebrate all the inventors who are living in Menifee.
Right.
This is another inventor living in Menifee. The company is QC Manufacturing in
Right.
Temecula, about adapted fans. So actually, one of my back neighbor, she got an award. She's an inventor. She got an award for redesigning the backpack.
Wow. So
Yeah.
something commonly used. We have a Menifee inventor that improved the backpack.
Right.
That's
So
an interesting fact about Menifee right there.
Menifee right there, and we
Yes.
should hold one special day to honor all of those inventors.
That would be cool. Now, what we need to do is get the inventor count up, because what you just handed me is Menifee. Let's just talk about the numbers. And this goes towards our economic growth, right?
Economic
so this
growth.
is kind of like a snapshot into that. So if we're
Right.
talking about economic growth, our economic medium as far as income, Marietta has 243 patents.
Inventors. Yeah.
Inventors are patents that were submitted in
Living-
2024, right?
2024.
Temecula has 1,044. Paris had 154.
More than Menifee.
Hold on, I didn't even get the Menifee's number. Riverside has 1,096. Menifee, we only have 32.
Oh,
Right?
Yes.
So what we need, and what this is an indication, it sounds like, is that we need more
inventors to come up.
inventors, more people that be able to come in and contribute to
Yes.
the advancement of any industry that's going to be here, right?
Right,
So
right.
these inventors are probably attached to some sort of industry
A
that's
company,
already in
right.
that city, correct?
Right. Yes. Nearby. Yes.
And like you said, you have Temecula is a big tech industry.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of smart guys out there,
Living in
designing
Temecula.
these little circuit boards,
Right.
or whatever it is that's going to make life easier.
Right. It's intellectual properties economy.
Right.
So this is what we really need to build up, and we have the resources to build up. Yeah.
And I think we have one more comment from the 411 something. Let's see what you have to weigh in on. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty cool. I think that we do need to celebrate innovation. I
Yes.
think that we need to really, in the beginning stages of Menifee, put everything that Menifee does on the map.
On the map.
If as a community, we need to really celebrate, whatever it is that comes out of Menifee, because
Yes.
almost every city that is a good city, that is a proud city, everybody bigs up, and it doesn't have to be a major city like LA. Look at Sturgis, right?
It doesn't matter.
Town,
It doesn't
and they
matter the
have
size.
little small
It's the
motorcycle-
people. It's the
Yeah.
people that made the city.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Glamis. A lot of people hear about that. It's not. There's nothing out there, but you know about it because
Yeah.
the community
The community,
rallies around it. Then they go there.
Yes.
So we have another question from Bianca Rosales Chin. It's a downtown area, old town feel with mom and pop stores and restaurants. No more chain restaurants, and a dog park would also be great. We um we kind of went over that.
Dog park. We really need dog park. You know, so many of my neighbors have pets,
Mhm.
and they, yeah. So pet is part of life. Mental health, especially during COVID pandemic. Pets are
Oh
our,
yeah, that's when I
yeah,
got my hero.
yeah,
My dog is a Belgian Malinois. And he's like my homie. Yeah,
yeah.
so I totally understand that
Yeah.
one.
So every morning when I sit in my office, I look out the window. I see my neighbors taking the dogs out, I feel good. It's a normal Monday. That's how I feel every morning. In the afternoon, I see them more of them taking the walk, walking their dog. That's how made me feel good. Made me feel normal. It's
Right.
just a normal day.
Now,
Yeah.
when we start talking dog parks, right? What how difficult is it for the city to procure land specifically for like just dog like that type of a niche thing?
So easy.
Yeah.
Let the builder build it. It's
So
a
when
matter
we're
of
talking about in the
requirement.
got you.
We only have to make sure they understand our requirement. They do it.
So whenever we decide to put up another, I guess what's the criteria? So you say a community, you're going in, you're putting in 200 homes.
Yeah.
What does Menifee want with those 200 homes? Vices 500 homes. Vices 1,500 homes. Like,
Yeah.
what is it that is there like a punch list? Like, okay, you guys are giving us 200. You trying to give us 200 homes. We want at least a park and this. 500 homes. Hey, you're gonna have to build a soccer field and
Yeah. Like Audie Murphy, if you go to their public parks, it's huge. It's a baseball
yep.
field, very
Audie
large.
Murphy's got a
And then they
beautiful
have a
park over there.
skating park as well. So they have three or four, many smaller parks within the big parks. For smaller development, they can build. And then if you go right across the street to Patriot Park, they have a small basketball field too, and they have a number of what I like to have here is um, STEM park and musical parks. Uh, I saw one musical park in Orange County, and I saw a lot of parents taking kids to play, and they play all day long. So musical park is something we easy to do, very easy to do, and kids love it.
And I mean that, yep. And that's I think the biggest thing is, just trying to find an identity. You say Temecula is tech, you got and wine and all of that stuff,
Yes.
right? Some people may disagree with that, but tech is in wine, and then Marietta, you have your medical facilities. It almost sounds like Menifee's identity comes with whatever it is, whatever industry pulls in here. If it's the medical, maybe that's our identity. If it's a big trade school or education opportunity,
Yes.
maybe we have another satellite university, California College University, State University
Right.
satellite campus. Maybe
Yeah.
you know, there's the possibilities are there, and we have the land, right?
Right.
So we have the places to be able to accommodate something huge in Menifee.
Yes.
So I mean, I think that's where we're all looking to go, but it's just what the city leaders have and how hard they're pushing for these things for us.
Yeah. Um, right now, we are actually at the beginning of economic development.
Mhm.
So, for identity, right now, our identity is very uh, tied to the past.
Mhm.
So, it's if one symbol that can uh, symbolize our heritage is actually the windmill. This is an old mining town. Windmill is, but the thing about the windmill, the symbol of windmill is windmill also represent the new energy, renewable energy.
does.
So it reflects the past and the future.
That's
And
nice. I like that, and that's definitely, you know, if it, a lot of thought. I think we need to slow down in Menifee as far as I get development's going to increase the city's revenue, right? Development also, if we're moving too fast, now we're 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 carving it. You can't get land back, right? You can't get it back, right? Once you
once,
develop on it, it is now developed, and now that
yes,
infrastructure set up, and you can't rip all that stuff out and start over. You have to
yeah,
build over it. So I think, we need to slow down, because in 20 years from now, what we don't want to see is, man, we missed an opportunity because we were real hasty and made a decision, and now we've missed out on a better opportunity, and that we don't have the land for it. So I think that's kind of where a lot of us are at as far as citizens. We're about to wrap this up, but I definitely want to get a little bit more personal. Okay. So we've heard you speak, and it sounds like you're going to be have already been a great citizen and steward of the city of Menifee with your experiences. I wish you luck. I hope that, District 2 gets you. I hope that
thank
you
you,
are the representative, because it sounds like
thank
you
you.
have the experience and the vision that the citizens in District 2 need. But, what I want to do in this last few minutes is, Joe Long, the man, right? Aside from the things in Southern California, what is your story? And I'm saying, as far as like what people need to really know. You were sharing with me before we started the live that you grew up in Vietnam. How old were you left there?
Yes, for my life, I own everything. Let me restart.
Do your thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Everybody have a single birthday. I have two.
Okay.
I was born in Vietnam,
Mhm.
and I was born again in American refugee ship to America.
Understood.
Yeah, 1975
1975. You were
is the
born. You
year.
were born an American
Reborn
citizen.
in American. Yeah.
Understood.
So I own everything to America, and especially to the service, military services, men and women, the Navy, the Navy. Yes.
Yeah, we
So
had a
that
we
I
had a
know.
very good conversation about that one. Yep.
Yes. Um, after coming here, I went to Southern Illinois University. I got my bachelor degree, and actually
Go Redbirds.
in my neighborhood, there's one Saluki alumni right there
Mhm.
too.
In
Yeah,
Southern Illinois, you're a Redbird,
Southern
right? You're a Redbird.
Salukis, Salukis.
Salukis. What's the, because my daughter graduated. I thought, she's Illinois State.
You know what?
That's the red. My daughter is in Illinois. That's why I was like, wait a second, my fault. I did not mean to interrupt you. So you graduated Southern Illinois
Yeah.
University.
Yes. After graduating from SAU, I went to Texas to work for a petroleum company,
Okay.
and then for a few years, and then I moved to California, in San Jose, to start my real estate appraisal business. So covering the whole Bay Area, San Francisco County, Alameda County, um, Santa Clara County, all those counties. So
One of
I
the
pay
most expensive counties
yeah.
in the
So
world.
I pay a very close attention to economic development, because every report I have to analyze economic development and how economic forces is going to affect the housing prices. Then um, about 20 years ago, I moved to San Diego, again doing appraisal, uh, covering San Diego County, Riverside County, Orange County. And luckily, when I was in San Diego, I was appointed by a county supervisor to be a member of the um, San Diego Property Tax Appeals Board. I was one of the um, hearing officer. So during the housing crash, uh, 2021, 2022, 2023, we
Mhm.
have thousands of homeowners apply for reduction of property taxes. And we went through all of those lists. A lot of company apply too. So I don't want to see that kind of thing happening again. But I went through. I heard the people having suffering with the property tax, and luckily in California we have Proposition 13. So that's one lucky thing. For um, we moved to Menifee 7 years ago, uh, and we loved it here. We moved to Menifee because it's center, kind of in between everything.
Everything.
We live in a rural atmosphere, but I can go and do anything anywhere. So it's very close. And when coming to Menifee, I was so lucky to be part of our community HOA board. We have a lot of activities, and for the next step, I hope as a city council, I hope to do the same thing. I hope to get the people together, uh, people working together. I, I hope people will tell me what they think. And
Mhm.
my job is to listen. I represent you. I don't advocate any point I make. It's your point that I want to convey to the city. And it's the city that thrive because of the people involvement. So that's my point. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Mhm.
Mr. Long. Let's get some hand claps for Mr. Long. I'm gonna go ahead. A lot of people take for granted, the luxuries and the niceties and some of the things that we have over here. A lot of us don't understand what it truly is to truly struggle. Yeah, we might have some financial woes, and man, where am I gonna, find, the money to maybe pay for this or pay for that? But when you're coming from a war-stricken country where there's nothing back there for you, to start over from scratch, to come and to overcome all the challenges that this country threw at you, right?
Yes.
That's for another show, right? And then still be able to find yourself in a situation to where you are a servant of American people, a servant of the Californians, and what do we say, Menifeeans?
Menevian.
What is it,
Menevian.
Menifeeans, Menifeonians, or what? So we Menifeeans, like we need an official term. Is it a
Term.
Menifeeans?
Menevian.
So Menifeeans, I think, is what it is. And now you're wanting to put your name in the hat to serve us in District 2.
Yes.
I really want to thank you for your time. I really wish you nothing but the best. I hope that you are District 2's representation.
Yes.
And we'll conclude that there. We're going to see you in the chats. Is
Okay.
there anything else that you want to lead? Is there anything, social media, anything that you want to kind of plug in that you have going on? I know that you have a pretty busy calendar in January. It looks like in February you have the creativity and expression. You want to go ahead and plug that real quick?
Oh, actually, this is a list, a proposal for festival
Oh, okay.
in Menifee.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
So these
yeah.
are the festivals that you were talking
Right.
about. I got you. I got you.
Disaster festival,
Mhm.
because Menifee is a new city, so we should be prepared for any emergency.
So
So yeah.
you're talking about this. Okay, I see what you're.
Yeah.
This is a very forward thinking candidate. This is a very forward thinking individual. I'm looking at this, and there's a lot of things on here. And unfortunately, what we're probably gonna have to do, Mr. Long, is have a second sit down where we go over a bunch of other stuff, because this one right here has a lot of stuff. What I'm probably gonna do is, if you don't mind, can I take this?
Sure,
So what
sure.
I'm probably gonna do is start popping some of this stuff on the chats and seeing what
Yeah.
people think of it and getting
Yeah.
polls. What's the
So
last thing you got there?
okay, so as a planning commissioner, I had the opportunity to go to many conventions, and one of the important convention is disaster preparation convention
Mhm.
in Anaheim. So I learned all the programs for rescue, for security, for and that's what we need here. We need to be more prepared. We have to
Right.
prepare
It
our
sucks
public.
not to be prepared. And
Right.
that's when saying things like that really, really interest. Like I really like that about you.
Right. And I also went to facility expos, how to build manufacturing, how to build anything at all, cheaper and stronger and better, and security and compliance with all the healthcare requirement. So this is where I learned how to recruit company here when for building new facility faster and cheaper. Yeah. So I attended all of those I learned.
So
I went around to learn.
what it sounds like District 2 is getting is a candidate that's already done the homework, a candidate that's already done the legwork, has been to the conventions, has gotten the information, has gotten the details, and is ready to serve you. Again, I appreciate your time, Joe. Thank you so much. You and I, and we'll get together again at some point. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and conclude this live for now. But we'll get back in touch, and I do appreciate everyone for tuning in that has, and for the listeners that are listening this back on a podcast or on streaming it online. I appreciate you tuning in to the Trillism Show. Until next time, Trillism out.